Hello everyone and welcome to BodyBags. I'll be your reviewer for today. I'm Lonnie from Tats. This week is a random week, and the one I decided to go with, I'm sure some people are probably going to be like, why? But the one that I decided to go with, see if I can block that one. Sorry, it's just, yeah, I'm sure that's hitting the camera. But anyway, the one I decided to go with is from 2016, written and directed by Kevin Smith, and stars Lily Rose Depp, Harley Quinn Smith, Kevin Smith, and Johnny Depp. We have Yoga Hosers. I'm actually kind of surprised this one hasn't been done on BodyBags before. I know, like, back in the day, I know, like, James and we reviewed, like, Tusk and Red State and stuff. And, yeah, and this one here is, the one Kevin Smith movie that apparently nobody's done this one before. I have yet to see his other horror film, his unreleased horror film, the one that he sold as a NFT called Kilroy was here, but from my understanding, from what I've heard, it's not really anything to write home about. I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I can't tell you. But this movie is, I don't want to say it's divisive among Kevin Smith fans. I think to a lot of people, this is arguably probably, hate to say it, but yeah, I think to a lot of people, this is the worst movie he's made out of all of his movies. And he kind of acknowledges that, he is aware that people don't like this movie. This movie, it doesn't bother me. It definitely is a step down after Red State and Tusk. Even though this is a sequel to Tusk, and there was meant to be another one called Moose Jaws, which I don't know if that's ever going to happen now, but yeah, this movie is definitely a step down from Tusk and Red State. The story is, you have the two girls, they're both named Colleen, and you got Lily Rose Depp, Johnny Depp's daughter, and you got Harley Quinn Smith, Kevin Smith's daughter. They're both working at a convenience store, so, obviously there is a very, you definitely get a feeling of Clerks here, but almost as like if Clerks, that's probably one of the best way to look at it. If Clerks was gender swapped and meant to be like more of like a family friendly, kind of more of a PG-13 movie, which that's what this movie is rated. There you go, PG-13, so this movie, in a number of ways, really is a departure from Kevin Smith's usual fare. And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't like it. I'll get to that in a minute, but, just go ahead and tell you. Okay, so you got the two Colleens. They're working at this Canadian store called A to Z, which is the same convenience store that Justin Long's character in Tusk appears at in the beginning of the movie, and then later on in the movie when Genesis Rodriguez and Haley Joel Osment, Johnny Depp, they're looking for Justin Long's character. They stop here at this convenience store and talk to the two girls. Well, this is after all of that, and the two girls, the opening of the movie, they're singing a song. They're trying to, they want to be in a band. They singing music and all this kind of stuff, and they're really into it. And they got their drummer Ichabod, who they call him Dickabod. Very mature young ladies. but yeah. So they're just kind of going about their normal everyday, of course, they can't stand, they're teenage girls. And I think that that's probably going to be a problem with a lot of people going into this movie, is that I think a lot of people don't particularly see these two characters as really likable. I think a lot of people are going to look at these two as kind of irritating and smug. I don't think that that's the way they were intended, but I'm just saying I do think that there are people who are going to watch the movie and they're going to see these girls as just annoying, not particularly fun to be around. So they're just kind of doing their thing and all this. And then it turns out that, these strange creatures, you can see one of them there, and, well, kinda. But anyway, they're called Bratzies, and they're all played by Kevin Smith. But anyway, these strange creatures come up from underneath the they come up from underneath the A to Z, and then they start going around and attacking people, and basically they kill you. Of course, Kevin Smith movie, so of course it's going to be mature, but the way they kill you is they crawl up your butts and then kind of work the way up and break your neck. So they're killing people, but anyway, so the girls are going to school, and you see a young Austin Butler. He's right there. You have to admit, Austin Butler, that young man's gone on to have a hell of a career. He's worked with many, many big name directors. He was Tex Watson in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He played Elvis. I mean, this guy, he's on a roll. This young man's on a roll. His career is going, man. So good for him too. So anyway, so the girls go to school, and actually the teacher, played by, I know I'm going to butcher this name, but it's Vanessa Paradis, I think. Anyway, it's Lily Rose Depp's mother. And she's teaching them about that there were actually Nazis in Canada. And the head Nazi is played by Haley Joel Osment's character. And he wanted to, kind of start this super race. And he meets this scientist played by Ralph Garman. And the two of them are, trying to create this kind of Nazi super race and stuff like this. But they went into hiding, and nobody really knows what went on. And so it turns out that Harley Quinn Smith's character has a crush on Austin Butler's character. And he decides that, he comes in with this buddy of his, and says, we're going to invite you girls to a party. You want to go to a senior party and all this stuff? And so, she's happy about this, and then, she's really happy about getting to go to this party and everything. And then her mom, played by Jennifer, Schwabach, Jennifer Smith, her real life mom in real life and in the movie, they argue about it, but finally, the mom decides to go ahead and let her go to this party. Well, so the problem is, though, is Lily Rose Depp, her dad, is actually married to Natasha Lyon's character, and Natasha Lyon's character actually runs the store, and she basically screws the girls over and makes them have to work. So, so like when Austin Butler's like, hey, you girls going to come to our party? And she's like, well, how about instead of, you guys bring the party over here to the store and everything. Well, it turns out, though, that it's not really a party. It turns out that Austin Butler character and his buddy, they're actually Satan worshipers, and the idea is they want to kill these two and sacrifice them to Satan. And so, they go in, and meanwhile, Johnny Depp's character, Guy Lapointe, shows up, and he's like, yeah, there are these murders being committed, and, it's like, you girls might know something about it, and so, all this. And so they're like, we know nothing about it and everything else. And so the girls come, Austin Butler, his character, and the other guy, they come. And then, the girls, see the broadsheets and stuff like that. And then I'm trying to figure out how to say this so I don't ruin the movie for everybody. I think I've already said more than enough. But anyway, so the two girls team up with Johnny Depp's character, and, they go underneath the A to Z store to basically, uncover the mystery of what's going on and all this kind of stuff. And I think I'm going to probably just go ahead and leave it at that. Like I said, this movie, it's very, very much a departure from Kevin Smith's usual fare. And I think that's one of the reasons a lot of people don't like it. Now, even though his movies, can and do appeal to female audiences, usually, most of the time, his movies are kind of more guys' movies, And, I mean, he does write women characters very well, Excuse me. I would say some people probably say, like, not these two so much, but, you look at a lot of the female characters in Kevin Smith movies, and a lot of the times, more often than not, he does write really, really good female characters. Women that are likable and you relate to them and everything else. And but usually like his movies are always, they're always like R-rated. No, I don't think he's ever really done too many unrated movies. Usually his movies always fit within an R rating. But the idea that this is more of a, like I said, this is more of a female centric film, and the fact like this is kind of more designed towards a female audience, as his movies usually appeal more to a male audience because of the crude jokes and the humor and stuff like this, and this very much is toned down. I mean, there are you have some really good, interesting practical effects courtesy of Robert Kurtzman. But some of the CGI effects really are dodgy in this movie. But this movie is very toned down after Red State and Tusk, and even his segment that he did for Holidays. So yeah, this very much is a change. So I do think that that's probably one of the reasons a lot of people didn't like it. And I think another reason too is like, I think one of the things that I can applaud Kevin Smith for this movie is that, okay, he did try to strive to do something unique and original. Okay, now I know that unique and original doesn't, necessarily translate to good, but I think that, the idea that he tried to come up with something that you've never seen before, good or bad, that's the one thing, these Bratzy characters here and stuff, good or bad, the one thing you can at least say is, like, nobody's ever done it. And I know people, nobody's done it because it's fucking stupid. But, I will say, at least I do applaud him for going out on a limb and trying to do something a little bit more original, a little bit more unique, to try to keep it within the Tusk universe, but make it a completely different story, with different creatures and everything else. The cast, like I said, the two girls, they're a little bit annoying, but I think it really does help that they're surrounded by a really good supporting cast. Jason Mewes does make a small appearance in the movie, a little bit more of like a cameo than anything else. In my opinion, Johnny Depp is really the highlight of this movie. I think he's hilarious. You could tell, like, back when Johnny Depp was allowed to make fun movies and stuff like this, like, you could tell, like, Depp is having a ball doing this. He's really into his character, and he's, having fun with it. He's playing, like Kevin Smith even said in an interview, is like, the thing about Johnny Depp, this dude comes to play, and you can see Johnny Depp on full display, just going after it. He's just, he's going for it. I know it's not the most original idea, but, like, one thing about his character is, like, he has this mole. Like, 1 minute it'll be, like, on his cheek. They'll be, like, on his forehead. They'll be on his nose. And then he'll have, like, multiple moles. And they just, like, it keeps changing place and all that kind of stuff. But, just in my opinion, and, of course, I am a Johnny Depp fan, and I miss him. I miss him making movies. I really wish, I think, like, right now he's kind of more focusing on his music and stuff like that, and touring and playing and stuff like that. I think that's more what he's doing right now. But I miss him. I miss, seeing Johnny Depp having a good time making a movie and just, being creative and just having fun with it and trying to bring a character to life. I miss it. I miss seeing that. But yeah, this movie definitely is a step down from Tusk and Tusk and Red State. Those movies, I feel, were, even though, like, I know a lot of people feel like, Tusk is kind of a iffy kind of movie, but, I personally think that, Tusk was a really well-made film. I know it does kind of get a little zany in the third act, but, like I said, I can have some fun with this movie, but yeah, when it comes to, like, Kevin Smith movies, just in general, and, Kevin Smith, like, his attempts at doing horror films, yeah, this is not going to be my go-to. I admit that. Like I said, I'm not going to bawl or freak out or anything like that if this is on, Like, I could see myself, okay, it's on TV. I could sit and watch it as a time waster and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, if I was like really in the mood for, like, one of Kevin Smith's horror films, or, I would probably be like more like, yeah, probably my first go-to is probably going to be Red State, and then Tusk after that. But but yeah, I mean, overall, I don't mind this movie. It's goofy, it's silly. Justin Long is in this movie as well, even though he's playing a different character. Like I said, but yeah, I just think that this movie, I think that's probably the best way to describe this movie, is like, it's too goofy and silly to be a horror movie. I mean, I know that horror movies have, there are horror movies that have comedy elements, but I think the problem with this movie is just the horror and the comedy are not balanced well at all. And I think that really hurts it, I mean, this really is a situation of a movie is like it's too goofy and weird to be scary, and but at the same time it's too, it does hit a dark area, and it doesn't really shift tone very well, but so I don't know. I mean, I can't honestly sit here and say I recommend it. I mean, if you're a Kevin Smith fan, you might enjoy it. Yeah, there are some fun, little nods in this movie. I mean, you could definitely tell that, Smith, is a big fan of, Bob and Doug McKenzie, like from Strange Brew and all that kind of stuff. There is a fun little part in the movie where you can hear the theme from The Shining and everything else. But just like I said, I think that's really the worst. That's really the biggest problem with this movie, is just like it really has a trouble trying to find, a tone, and just like I said, but like I also said too, though, I mean, if you're going into this expecting that kind of really edgy, kind of vulgar, Kevin Smith kind of humor and stuff that you're used to, you're going to be disappointed. This is very much toned down. For Kevin Smith, this is very much toned down. But I would say, like I still say, it's like, yeah, definitely not his best work, but I still do applaud it in the sense that, like I said, at least he tried something original, or he tried something unique. I know that doesn't automatically equal good, but I do appreciate that, he at least, took a chance and tried to make something interesting, So yeah, like I said, I can't honestly say I would recommend it, It's like, I don't know, maybe you might want to watch it if you got a crush on the two girls. That might help. You want to see Kevin Smith as a bratwurst / Nazi. You have to admit, it's like, it's kind of stupid, but you'll remember it, But anyway, so yeah, that's the thing. I can't honestly say yes or no. I just say, if you want to chance it, give it a shot, make up your own mind. So that's it. I think I've gone on way too long. So if anybody took the time to watch this video, I thank you for doing it. I appreciate you for doing it. I honestly hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, could you please leave a like? And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the BodyBags channel. We have a different reviewer, one for every day of the week. I'm the Friday reviewer. And yeah, we're doing some fun videos, stuff on the weekends and everything else. So, stay tuned. We got some more fun stuff on the way. So that's it, everybody. Take care. Have a good night. I'll see you all later.